So, are you aware of your own suffering? Long story short, no, you're not. And nobody ever is. Like, the only time that we are aware of our own suffering is when we literally cannot handle our suffering anymore and we're forced to take initiative, to be innovative, and just find innovative, like finding a new way to do things, for the better of everything. Or the more easier one, what I say is we are inspired by other people, like the other people in our lives, like what they're doing and how they're living their life that is better or more comfortable, simply like more flourishing. Of course, we want to survive to the max. Like, we always want what's best for ourselves. It's almost like that's our point. We want to be happy. We want to be the happiest. So we follow in the footsteps of others. So inspiration. So it's either like innovation, by yourself, which is maybe kind of the hard thing, or it's inspiration. Um, so anyway, so why is that? Why are we not aware? Well, simply by evolution, once we find a way to survive, to do something, to do anything, or really just a way to do it like without any dire consequence, we continue that we continue that way because it works, and it always works. And it's kind of like we get comfortable. We become too comfortable. So if we know this by like evolution, like if we know that it's so easy to just result to what works and to settle, like a good starting motto for this video, maybe in general, was like, don't get too comfortable. um like don't get too comfortable, and don't settle. Like, you should never be settling in life with anything. um and it's really good to be grateful and have gratitude, but don't settle with the knowledge that you have, or the capabilities that you have, the skills. You should always kind of be grateful for what you do have and what you have obtained, but also be humble and vulnerable and say, there's so much more that I could be doing. There's so much more that I could be learning. There's so much people, um, I could be giving love to, and so on and so on. We settle in life, and that is why we die. We stop growing, and that is why we die. So it's really easy. So the next thing, sort of, is that it's really easy for us to observe the suffering in others, but then we kind of forget that it's the way we have our own sufferings, maybe major or minor, within ourselves. So it's like we can be astonished by other people's behaviors, and we think to ourselves, why do they act like that? Well, simply it's because they've been enabled and they've been allowed somehow to become the person that they are. Or maybe just like made the way that they are because of their surroundings, the people that they grew up with, the cues. So this is like mainly, I'm like talking about childhood, of course, obviously. So it's like their people's, like their family. The cues can be just miscellaneous things in a house that maybe symbolize something or offer a memory, and it's like every time that you see something miscellaneous, like it's kind of like you remember, like I feel like your brain and your body attaches emotions to things, and that's what I like to call cues. So maybe just like childhood, their household, their family, like maybe for example, if someone is a picky eater, my argument is like, a picky eater does not exist. It's only been enabled. It's only been a trait that's been enabled by someone. Or maybe it's just like their ability. It's like they have limited ability to eat food or something. But I don't even know if that was a good example. But people have always been enabled and allowed to be the way they are. So think of this for yourself. You have been enabled, you're enabling yourself, and you're allowing yourself to feel suffering, and you don't even know it. So this happens, and maybe anytime, because I do like to believe throughout the entire life, even this happens, and we're kind of like what's a good word, like handicapped to this, most of us. As you level up in life, you are going to think and you're going to reflect on your old self, and you're going to think, why didn't I level up sooner? Why did I not improve this about myself sooner? Like, why did I not read psychology sooner? Why did I not try meditating sooner? Why did I take so long to just learn the art of forgiveness and to let things go? I mean, this could go on and on and on. And I noticed, like, this personally with myself, like, just the stagnant and the waiting. But once you get over that, and once you take initiative or you take the inspiration to change, you look back on your old self almost with, like, disgust. I mean, not completely disgust. Like, you can have empathy towards your old self, but there's just disgust. And, like, every time I experience that, I'm like, literally, why did I not improve sooner? And I just think, like, it's like a literal, like, you're being handicapped. Like, you're being handicapped to this own reality that you create. So now, having explained all of that, especially the being enabled and being allowed by several factors in your life, being family, the childhood, the household, blah blah blah, old things that symbolize the past. Maybe like your ex gave you this present, and you still have old photos on your phone, whatever, something that's keeping you the same person. That stuff creates your sense of self, and we're going to call that the ego. And the ego prevents growth. So once you have these things that are enabling and allowing you, and also synonym for that, making you who you are, the ego is who you are. Who you are is preventing growth of, like, who you could be. And so transitioning from that, your new life and the new you that you want to be or you aspire to be is going to cost you your old life and your old self. So it's like you cannot have an ego where there is a desire for growth. And always remember that. And this literally could be applied to anything. This could be applied to you trying to better yourself, but it could be literally applied to anything. If you wonder in life, why is something not growing? It is because there is ego in place, and there's ego stopping that. And I have a video that I've done talking about ego and love, and how ego in a relationship cannot work, and it never will. This is like kind of the similar thing. Like, you have to let go in order to obtain the new and obtain what you want. It's like you have to have open arms to receive a hug, sort of thing. So growth prevents ego prevents growth. So it's like you have to let go of who you are, and it's like don't manifest or have this continuous idea of who you are. So if you're wanting to grow, let's say like you want to grow out, and you want to like learn a new hair routine or something, because you're like my hair routine, it doesn't seem like it's the most healthy, or it doesn't like help my hair grow long like I'm aiming for. So I'm going to get rid of the idea that I am a person with thin short hair. I'm going to throw that idea away, and I'm going to say I'm the girl that has long luscious hair and has a great hair routine. It's like you The manifesting is so real when people bring it up. Like, you manifest this new idea of yourself, and your brain is able to accept that. And if your brain accepts that as reality, it's going to take the steps to become who you say you are. Growth prevents ego. No, ego, sorry. Yeah, growth prevents ego. Ego prevents growth. Do not have an ego when you're attempting this. So, I wanted to kind of not dive into this completely. So now I've explained, why are we not aware of our own suffering? Okay, this is kind of like an abstract thought, and it is the fall of Mars, but specifically the debilitation of Mars. And I'm not going to go too into it. The whole fall of Mars, I want to kind of make that a completely different video, probably next video, because it's also something that I'm so passionate about, and I have so much to say. And I feel like when you understand and learn about the fall of Mars, you can always reflect on what you've learned from it whenever you're in doubt in life, and it kind of like always sets me back on track. So I'm gonna make this another video, but for now, the debilitation of Mars. So this is also let me give a disclaimer. In no way am I saying that, like, religiously, that I go to astrology first. Like, I have a relationship with God, and I do go to God first, but this is just a bit interesting what astrology maybe has to say. So the debilitation of Mars. So in astrology, Mars is debilitated in the zodiac sign of Cancer. So Mars is the planet of ambition, anger, drive, assertion, perseverance, and courage, and so on. Passion too, just a ball of energy, right? So Cancer is the zodiac sign of comfort, home, family, protection, emotions, sensitivity, reserved, and like routine. So, like I said, in astrology, Mars is debilitated in Cancer. So, what I've just described, that basically translates to your progression, your ability, achievement, and focus, all of the Mars stuff that I just said, is made weak by things like the same routine, being sensitive, being reserved, being attached to family, and being attached to comfort, and staying at your house, and never going new places. Like, letting your emotions decide or stop your grind. Staying in the same routine, letting family protect you, and letting them stop you from new things, and letting them tell you what to do. Like I said, never leaving the home and what you've always known, and being reserved and closed off, being reserved and closed-minded to new ideas and people, that could potentially help you get closer to change and achievement. It's just like the zodiac sign of Cancer is very protective of itself, and it's a sufferer. It loves to wallow in its emotions and suffer. That is like my main point. So in astrology, what this is saying is, like, if you do any of these things, it is literally the weakest way to go about your ambition, assertion, drive, all of that stuff. Mars, basically. It's the weakest, debilitated, the weakest. It's not just the fall of Mars, it's the debilitation. It's the opposite of the exalted Mars. And I hope that makes sense, but I bring it up because I just think it's really interesting how if, like, we're not aware of our own suffering, and if you just choose to suffer and you literally don't make a stand and take initiative to better yourself, you're literally in the debilitation of, like, the power that you do have to change your life. You're literally in the worst situation that you could be in. So in what areas of life, here's the next, in what areas of life am I choosing to suffer and struggle? So to not change is to choose. So I said, in what areas of life am I choosing to suffer and struggle? Like, let me get that through your thick skull, that you are choosing to struggle in what you're struggling in. It's almost like there's always something that you can do about something. And maybe there's just something that you've just accepted as reality and you've chosen to do nothing about. And it's like literally you are the killer of yourself. You are the one that's stopping you. You're the one that's creating this reality for yourself. And it's almost like I'm reiterating myself through this video, but it's almost just like a dumb thing. It's like so simple and it's so dumb. So, in what areas? How do you realize? It's not easy to. Okay, sorry. So, to not change is to choose. So we left off. So, a good way to kind of realize this, I love this method, is to think and question yourself. Who are you jealous of? Who do you admire? Who are you inspired by? What are you jealous of? So the jealousy is like a passion, and it's an emotion. It's an uncomfortable emotion. So this can give you a lot of answers of changes that you would like to make in your life. So I really use, if I ever feel jealous in life, I really like capture it and think of it, and I use it to my advantage, because I'm like, well, okay, I'm like jealous of something right now. That jealousy says a lot about me and what I would like to change in my life. So some examples, I'm not saying this is like personal to me, but it's like, it could be, oh, that girl's eye makeup. She does her eye makeup so beautiful and colorful and perfect. I can't make my eyes look so alluring like that. So it's like, don't think those things. Instead, like those thoughts that you think all the time, like every time you see a girl that does her makeup so beautiful, it gives you a negative feeling. You're suffering because you do not get up and teach yourself how to do that eye makeup that you find so lovely. You just choose to give yourself that negative and jealous feeling every time you say it. You give yourself a cue to feel bad instead of getting up and learning. And maybe some people don't do this, but some people are in the fall of Mars and they don't take initiative, and you don't fix your own suffering. How many how small this is? Okay, next one. Oh, her hair is so long. I wish my hair was like that. And it's like you're jealous, and every time you see a girl with long hair, you're like, oh, I wish my hair was that long. Well, you don't do any research. So do research. What vitamins can I take to get my own hair long? What hair routine can I massage my scalp? Like, do your research. Change up your routine. Get your hair longer. Do something about your own suffering. Don't just wallow in your feelings. Oh, she has an amazing body. I wish my body could look like that. I wish I could be maybe sexually as attractive, or okay, well, get a gym membership, establish a gym routine, be consistent, and have a diet. You can figure out all these things by doing research. Don't just sit in your jealousy. Don't sit in your emotions. Don't get out of your shell and learn something new. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be in the debilitated Mars. Don't be in the debilitated state of ambition and courage and change. It's just like these things maybe sound obvious, but for some people it's not. So So it could be like these jealousy things, or if it's like a routine that you're stuck in that makes you feel shitty, and it makes you feel shitty all the time, or you're just like wallow in this shitty feeling all the time, you never do anything about it. So these examples could be like, you have a job that you don't like. Well, look for and apply for a new one. And if there's a new one that has skills that would require you, like, ask your current job to teach you them now and try to get in. Like, if so it's like, it could be the job, it could be, oh, I don't ever accomplish anything after work, I'm so like low on energy. Well, maybe like have a snack, maybe have like establish a night routine, do some research on it, try to make it better for yourself. Oh, I can't contribute to a savings account at a time like this. Well, pick up another job, and all that money from that second job goes towards your savings account, so you can like have like goals of things you want to buy, or I don't know, far in the future. Like you're in shitty situations and you're aware of it, and you make yourself suffer through that negativity just because like you don't get up and do something about it. You are not aware of your own suffering. Like these sounds like, it sounds like no brainer, but they sound like no brainers. But I'm just saying that not everybody's aware. Change is uncomfortable and hard, and we're too comfortable. Like I said, that was the first motto: don't get too comfortable ever, ever, ever in life. There's like a Japanese saying, I don't know how to pronounce it, ikage, ikagi, something like that, Ikigai, and it's a book, and it says when the Japanese people lose their purpose, or they no longer have a purpose, it's kind of like when an older oh my gosh, sorry. So it's like their philosophy is, when somebody no longer has a purpose, that is when they die. When they no longer have something that they're working towards, that is when they die. When they're no longer growing. Doesn't it make sense? When you're no longer growing, that is when you start to die, or you will die. So the Japanese people work well until like when they're old. It's almost like they never stop working, or they never stop having a project. It's so important to constantly be growing. So I'm just trying to like get it through the thick skull. And of course I bring this up. So this is like the last little part. Of course I bring this up. Man, I wouldn't be bringing this up if it wasn't so personal for me, because like I have been this person that like I'm in this debilitated state of this part of my life, which is ambition, and it's just like I've just been choosing to wallow in the suffering, or wallow in my feelings, and like being too scared, or just ignoring it and like pushing it to the side, and saying, oh, I can suffer and I can deal with it. It's kind of like something just snapped in my brain. So personally, I've been upset before about like my hair length, my hair health, my glute size, being lonely, the dynamic in my romantic relationships, and money insecurity. So with all those things, I decided to change hair products and have a strict hair routine, and schedule regular trims so my hair doesn't break and thin, so I can't get long hair. So it's like I'm working towards that. I got a gym membership. I'm on a specific diet where I don't eat certain things anymore, and I have a gym routine, and I stay consistent at it, and I have like a good relationship with it. Like I've romanticized my relationship with it, with the gym, and I enjoy the gym. But I've enjoyed the gym for like a long time, but specifically about the glute size. So I just did more research. Loneliness could be like not living by myself, or like living with new people, or trying to make new friends and put myself out there type of thing, and putting myself in more situations to be social, which the main ones are like school and living with your friends. The dynamic in relationships, I studied femininity and how to navigate romance with men and how to better be complementary and compatible with men. Life changing, by the way. And like money and security, I lived way below my means, or like I live below my means and put money to the side. Like it's almost like these things sound so simple. Like, as I've said a million times, these things sound so simple, but for some people it's really hard to just get up and say, I can change my life. I can change these little things. I can learn more about these little things to help myself out. Because it's like when you get older, you realize nobody is going to. Like, acknowledge that you are not aware of your own suffering unless you look. You have to be looking for, how am I suffering? How am I making myself upset? What am I upset about, and what can I do about it? How can I make myself happier? Like, get rid of your ego and get rid of any negative thought that you have about yourself and change that. Like, you have so much power. You can be in the exhaustion of Mars. Don't stay in this debilitated state, this weak state that you put yourself in. Manifest, you know? Ego prevents growth. Don't have an ego. Don't get too comfortable. And it's like, once you become your dream self, you'll look back and say, why did I not do this sooner? So, I hope you guys like that. I really hope it like resonated with you, and I hope that really like you go from this video and just start to look for the little ways that you may be suffering and just try to have your eyes open for yourself, for your own sake, because that's what I've started to do, and it's honestly life-changing. Like, if I notice something that I'm upset about in my life, like I will immediately try to do something about it, just to not be idle and not just be suffering any longer. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I've loved this. I really loved this. Great topic. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.